información? ¿Al pendiente de las mejores columnas y opiniones? Suscríbete a El Heraldo de México y descubre los grandes beneficios de ser nuestro lector. Entérate de las noticias más relevantes hasta la puerta de...
Broadcasting live from Houston, from the space city to the world. You are watching Now Media Television.
Hello and welcome to Salaam Namaste. Broadcasting live from the Now Media studios in Houston, this is Saji Salam. This evening we have a very special guest on the show, Mr. MJ Khan, who is running as a candidate for the mayor of Houston. Mr. Khan brings a ton of business experience along with public service experience. I will let Mr. Khan talk to his experience and more. We'll learn more about Mr. Khan in the coming moments. But welcome to the show, Mr. Khan.
Well, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. I'm so glad to be here.
Thanks again for joining. Let's dive right in. Maybe we could start by talking about your background in business and governance so that our viewers can get a sense of your background.
Well, I am a professional engineer. I have a master's degree in civil engineering from University of Illinois. Then when we moved to Houston in 1980, I got my MBA from Rice University. I worked in large corporations like Brown Root, Stone Webster. And then in the late 90s, I started my own businesses. So I used to own gas stations, but now I'm in real estate development and oil and gas business. I served on Houston City Council for 6 years, from 2004 to 2009. I was the first South Asian on the Houston City Council, first Muslim on the Houston City Council, and people say first handsome bald guy on the Houston City Council.
Oh, that's interesting.
I also served as the president of Pakistan Association of Greater Houston, where in 1986 we established a scholarship at the University of Houston called M.A. Jinnah Scholarship. And also from 1997 to 2001, I served as the president of Pakistani Association of Greater Houston. And then after my city council days, I served as the president of the Islamic Society of Greater Houston, the largest Islamic society in all across the country. So that's my general background, and my public service is my motivation. I mean, I want to give back to the society because this American society, Houston, has been great to me, for my family, for myself. So we achieved successes beyond our imagination. So my motivation is to give back to the society as much as we can.
Oh, great to hear about your background, Mr. Khan. So you mentioned 1986 somewhere here, I think, along the way. So did you get to school here, or what brought you here to the United States?
I came to America on January 9th, 1976 as a graduate student at University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign. I got my master's in civil engineering there. My wife is a Fatma Jinnah graduate from Pakistan. She was the top graduate of that year, had 6 gold medals awarded to her. She got a residency in New York, so we lived in New York for about 3 years. And then in 1980, my wife got a fellowship offer in cardiology from Texas Heart Institute, and that's what brought us to Houston in 1980. My wife, Dr. Atiya Khan, is an interventional cardiologist. My son is a professor at a college in Berkeley, California, and we are blessed with 4 grandkids.
Oh, it's very, very interesting to learn more about your family, Mr. Khan. So let's now jump into the politics of all this, right? and your take on some of the key issues that you have on top of your mind. I think you have the number one issue on your list of things to tackle as a mayor of Houston is security. Maybe we talk about the security situation in Houston and your take on the same.
Well, I mean, look, Houston is going in the wrong direction, just like any major city in the country, because of all the problem of management. Right now, the crime rate is too high. The infrastructure is crumbling. We have budget deficits, and we have a flooding problem. But to me, these are all symptoms of a bigger problem. And what are those problems? Mismanagement of the city, and a bloated bureaucracy, and these pay-to-play contractors who are sucking tax dollars like leeches suck blood. So there is a lot of, I consider any waste of taxpayer dollars as a form of corruption. So in that context, I see a lot of wastage going on in the city. And that's what the problem is, because we have a $6.2 billion budget. There is no reason why we cannot have enough police officers on the streets. That's why my plan to tackle the safety issue, that I will increase the Houston Police Department budget by $100 million and start adding 500 more police officers and have the police officer, show up on the streets of Houston. That will cost about $60 million a year. And then I will spend the rest of the $40 million in technology and other resources which the police department needs. And I think that we need to have community policing. We need to take the blight out of the neighborhoods and have the police enforce all the traffic laws, like street racing and this dumping of tires and trash all over. All these laws needs to be enforced, and I think we can make Houston one of the safest cities in America.
Mm-hmm. So security issues here, you think is part of it is a lack of enough police force? Is that what you think? And that's where you're thinking that you need to add?
When I left Houston in 2009, we had more police officers then than we have today. So we definitely need more police officers. Houston is a very large city, 667 square miles. Kingwood is like 40 miles north of Houston. Clear Lake is, another 20 miles south of Houston, and all the way to West Houston and in the port area. So we have a very large city to cover. So we cannot cover it with 5,000 some officers which we have. So we need to add more police officers, and we need to have a leadership in the police department who believe in community policing, and we need to take the blight out of the neighborhood and enforce all the laws. And that's what will it take. Now, of course, part of the other problem is that our crime lab is in a mess. There is, in some cases, there are years worth of wait for the prosecutors to get all the evidence so they can, go to the court and present it. So we need to fix our crime lab also. Plus, we have to work with the district attorney and judges so they don't let the criminals out. One of the problem is that police officers catch a criminal and then they see that the person is out on bail. Just last week when this person shot a sheriff deputy, he was granted bail so many times, and he was on bail when he committed that crime, and he was on bail on felony crime because he was not prosecuted on time. So all these issues are there, but these are issues which we can handle. Houston is a can-do city. Houston has always risen up to meet the challenges, whether it is natural challenges or man-made challenges, and we will meet these challenges right now also.
Mm-hmm. So in your view, is Houston being too soft on crime or not able to handle crime to the extent it can?
Well, there are several problems. One, we do not have enough police officers. Secondly, we do not give police officers the latest technology and other resources which they need. And then the morale is down because of the crime lab situation and some of these judges who are letting the criminals out. All this add to the current situation which we have. But all these problems can be easily fixed with the proper leadership in the city hall.
Mm-hmm. And I think you brought up a little while ago community policing. What do you see the role of the community in policing?
Well, look, when we talk about police department, motto is to protect and to serve. Okay, they need to be part of the community. They need to know the community. They need to know the residents in the neighborhood and the businesses in the neighborhood. And community has to be partner up with the police department to make sure that they do their job in a very effective manner. So community, and also part of the community policing is that, you must have heard broken window theory. You have to take blight out of the neighborhoods. When there is a rundown neighborhood with trash all over and dumping of tires and abandoned cars and things like that, it just looks like a place which attracts criminal activity. So that's what the whole community policing is a way of providing police services, safety services to many cities. New York has practiced it when Mr. Giuliani was the mayor, and even when Mr. Bloomberg was there as a mayor. Dallas is practicing it now. There's no reason why we cannot practice it and make Houston the safest city.
That's a great perspective on improving the security situation in Houston, Mr. Khan. And we'll be back after a short break to continue this conversation. Please hang on.
According to the FBI, a robbery occurs every 13 seconds. Homes and businesses without a reliable security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. Alert 360 provides custom-tailored rock-solid security solutions to residential and commercial customers. Whether it's home security, fire and carbon monoxide detection, flood protection, connected senior care, managed video surveillance solutions, 24/7 alarm monitoring, and life safety, Alert 360 is your ideal solution. In addition, Alert 360 has a smart home and business integrations like access control and video shield for a complete peace of mind, protecting what matters the most and reducing energy costs with our top-of-the-line automatic scheduling functions. Alert 360 offers security services discounts to military personnel, veterans, first responders, educators, and hospital personnel. Don't be a victim. Take a strong step today. Call Rosana Torres at 832-863-8574 for your free consultation.
Bienvenidos a Legal Talk con Natalia, donde profundizaremos en el mundo del derecho y la mediación para empoderarte con conocimiento y comprensión. Nuestra meta es ayudarte sobre aspectos legales de diversas situaciones y guiarte a tomar decisiones informadas que puedan impactar positivamente tu vida. A lo largo de nuestros segmentos contaremos con expertos invitados, incluyendo abogados, mediadores y académicos, donde compartiremos sus perspectivas y responderemos a tus preguntas. Recuerda, el conocimiento es poder. Y juntos podemos cambiar vidas para mejorar y entender cómo funciona el derecho. Así que marca tu calendario, pon recordatorios y sé parte de nuestra comunidad informada. No olvides vernos cada miércoles a las 5 p.m. en Legal Talk con Natalia a través del canal 21.10 en Houston y en las redes sociales y plataformas digitales de Now Media Televisión.
Best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
Así debe de ser, siempre sencillo, las cuestiones de economía, finanzas y negocios explicados con peras y manzanas en torno al dinero, lunes a viernes, 10 de la mañana. Now Media, ahí nos vemos.
Bienvenidos esta mañana.
¡Comenzamos!
Esta mañana te vamos a mantener bien informado.
Esta mañana, juntos, nos vamos a divertir.
¿Quieres saber por qué?
Eso.
Tanto el odio puede hacer que la gente tome acción como la inspiración.
Tenemos música.
Tenemos música.
Tenemos
a Nistro, que nos viene con este gran oficio.
con el sonidero.
Esa muchacha en mi cuatalla.
Esta mañana va a estar espectacular.
Siempre he querido ser exótico.
Todas las maldades son distintas, no hay dos maldades iguales.
Desde los 15 años hice teatro, entonces justo con este personaje pues fue la primera vez que me tocó aplicar todo lo que sé hacer.
Todo cambió.
Esta mañana te presentamos las historias más emocionantes.
Me encantan sus entrevistas, que sean periodistas de a de veras y no que pregunten mamarrachadas.
Esta mañana,
De lunes a viernes.
En punto de las 9 por el canal 8.
¡Qué bárbaro!
Tell me, are you looking to sell a house or buy a home? Hi, I'm Michelle Briggs, and your real estate needs are my priority. With over 2 decades worth of experience within the real estate industry, I know I can help. Whether you're selling a house and moving on to the next chapter or buying a home to create generational wealth for your family, I am the realtor for you. Call me now at 713-256-5465 and let me handle all of your real estate needs.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining the show. Well, let's continue the conversation with Mr. Khan. Mr. Khan, we were talking about community policing, and I think one of the novel suggestions you had was to maybe bring in pensioners or retirees to be working with the police force. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, 2 things I will mention. One, when I say I will add the police budget, I will not raise any taxes. That's very important to know. We have a $6.2 billion budget. There's no reason why we cannot have enough savings from the budget by streamlining the city services and city departments and save enough money. So there's no, because one of my opponent is John Whitmire is calling for lifting the revenue cap which we have for public safety. I think that city is taking enough taxes. There is no reason for us to collect more taxes. Citizens are not willing to give a single dime more in taxes because they're giving a lot of taxes. Now, coming back to your question, what was the point you were asking? Go ahead again.
My question was around your earlier comment about using retirees at desk jobs.
Look, we have there are a lot of desk jobs in the police department also. And there is no reason why we need to have our uniformed officers who are needed on the streets to do those desk jobs. We can hire civilians or our retirees who are, for retirees from the police department to do those desk jobs and relieves these officers to be policing on the streets, because that's what we need. We need officers in the streets.
Very interesting perspective. And then going back to the taxes, so your point is that it is not an issue where we do not have enough funding. So you are saying that there is a budget, $6.2 billion. So it's not the question of not having money, but it's just about deploying those funds appropriately.
Well, exactly. Houston does not have a revenue problem. Houston has a spending and waste problem. Give you an example. When I left the City Hall in 2009, our budget was about $3.3 billion. Now it is $6.2 billion. The inflation and population growth during that time account for about 42% of the budget. So there is additional 45% of the money which we are taking over and above inflation, population growth. And we are just not using it properly, and we are wasting a lot of it. Give you an example of waste. I mean, the city of Houston is wasting money, Metro is wasting money, many of the tax increment reinvestment zones are wasting money. You saw that housing department, they are giving tax abatement to, some of their, preferred apartment owners. and they're getting tax abatement without giving the services which they're required to provide, that dedicate so many units for affordable housing. We saw the metro. If you go on Post Oak in Galleria, there is a bus line going there from Richmond all the way to 610. It goes back and forth. When that project was conceived, it was a consultant gave an estimate that more than 15,000 people will be riding that line daily. You know how many people are riding that line now? Only 744 people riding it daily. That's a $300 million project. That's a $300 million waste of your taxpayers' money. And you know, one of the candidates right now in the race, Mr. Gilbert Garcia, was the chairman of Metro when that happened. Did Metro ever came to citizens of Houston and apologize for that? Did anybody took responsibility for that? In private sector, we will never allow anything like this to happen. But, you know, when you're in public life, sometimes, you know, these bureaucracy and these leaders, they just take your money, and if it is wasted, yeah, the taxpayer will forget it and move on to the other wasteful project. So that's what I'm talking about, that I need to put every department, I will put this bureaucracy on a crash diet. I will go through management audits of every department, the personnel audit, process audit, and the management audits which we do in the private sector. And that will release a lot of these duplication of assignments and the tasks. We can consolidate all that because there is no reason why we cannot use the management practices which private sector uses every day in the city of Houston. I will require every department to produce zero-based budget. And we'll make sure that no taxpayer money is wasted, because that is really the worst problem we have now, that a lot of money is being wasted.
Mm-hmm. So now that is some very interesting thoughts on security and overall governance of the city of Houston. Let's jump to another topic that is of interest to you, which is jobs and infrastructure as well.
Yes. Well, let's talk about infrastructure. Right now, our infrastructure is crumbling. We are wasting 30 billion gallons of water every year because of the broken pipes and depleted network of water supply pipes we have. That's really a crazy way of doing it. It's almost like 20% of total water we consume. It's if you look in dollar terms, it's about $150 million just wasted because we don't have bad pipes. My solution to that is, and also the street repair, that I'm going to establish a $2.5 billion fund to take care of these depleted water lines and fix the potholes and infrastructure and sidewalks in the city of Houston, without raising taxes, by the way. Where will I get the money? Our dedicated street and drainage and street repair fund uses about $335 million of revenue, and operating expenses are about $113 million. The difference is about $220 million there. It should be more, because if City of Houston and Metro pays their fair share, this should be a lot more. But let's say that's $220 million. I can issue a bond with voters' approval. I will go to the our citizens and ask them to vote for it, get their approval to establish this, issue this bond. And the payment will be this $220 million a year, which we have. Use that as payment towards that bond. And for the current interest rates, we can get way over $2.5 billion bond issued. And I will use that immediately and start all these projects and fix all this. That will not only save us a lot of money, a lot of water. When streets are full of potholes, it's not just the nuisance. Your car breaks down quickly also. So we can fix this infrastructure problem very quickly with that plan. For flooding, my plan is that I will believe in regional detentions instead of small sites having, or some people are even talking about small homeowners having detention on their lots. That's not a workable solution. Nobody going to maintain it. Nobody going to inspect it. It's a safety hazard. So I believe in regional detention system where we direct all these waters, flood waters, to those regional ponds. And that will not only help us with flooding, We can put water treatment plants right there and solve the looming water crisis which city of Houston is facing. Chronicle reported a few months ago that in next 30 years we will have a terrible water shortage. So we need to plan for those things now. So when that comes, we do not, get caught like a deer in headlight as to what should we do now.
Mm-hmm. Well, what really got my attention is that we are wasting 30 billion gallons of water. I mean, that is a lot of wastage. And today, when water is such a scarce resource, such a precious resource, I think it is something that we really need to put a lot of focus on to fix the issue.
And that's the thing, I mean, I just cannot understand how these city leaders can sleep peacefully at night with that. It's an environmental issue also. When you waste that kind of water, it's a huge environmental issue. And citizens don't know, how many people gonna go and read Chronicle stories. And that's what's happening. There is no transparency from the city. If you ask for something, even Freedom of Information Act, they just bog you down in paperwork and never respond. So that's really the crux of the problem, the mismanagement of the city, lack of transparency. There's pay-to-play contractor. That's another huge issue right now. They favored contractors. They give a lot of money to their favorite candidates and as campaign donations, get them elected and get all these contracts, bloated contracts, and there's no, audit for those contracts. We have to have compliance audits of these contracts also to make sure they do what they're supposed to do. So there are a lot of issues. That's what I'm saying. The city really is going in the wrong direction. We need to turn it around to 180 degrees and move it up to the proper way and run it with the private sector management philosophy and very responsible conservative fiscal policies like we do in private sector. There's no reason why we cannot do it in the government sector.
Very interesting perspectives there. And, I learned a lot about the city and what's going on, in the city or just now by talking to you. And I don't know if many of the voters are aware of these perspectives, are aware of what is going on in the city and the governance of the city, because like you said, the citizens, the regular citizens are busy with their day-to-day lives and they don't get the time to really dig deeper into all this. So I really appreciate you.
I mean, just give you an example. Our water fund, where we collect money from your water bills, our water bills have almost doubled, a double-digit increase. It has a $2.5 billion of money sitting there. Why city cannot use that money to fix this problem of water pipes? It's beyond me. We should have, and technology is moving so fast. We should be using technology. We should be installing smart meters on every homeowner's water line. Why? Because people get the crazy water bill. $41 bill instead of $41, they get $4,200 water bill. When they complain, they say, "Okay, we'll fix it," and they still don't know how much water was consumed by that resident. So they just, in many times, they're just playing around to see if citizen catches it. Yeah, they will try to fix it. Otherwise, so there's tremendous amount of problem. It's beyond comprehension. How can city be run with this kind of management?
Mm-hmm. It's a great conversation so far, Mr. Khan, and we'll be back after a short break.
Oye, Lily dice que AT&T le da a todos las mejores ofertas.
Minus the air quotes.
Las mejores ofertas.
No need to wink. Others say they give everyone a deal, but not everyone gets the best deal.
Te lo dije, aquí las mejores ofertas son para todos con una variedad de planes.
You were right.
Is she always right?
Always.
En AT&T les damos a todos nuestras mejores ofertas en cada smartphone.
Hey, are you a small business owner that's struggling to double or triple your revenue and profits? My name is Michael Rager. I'm your business guide with Teach Your Business to Fish. Our success operating system will help you double or triple your profits every 2 to 3 years while actually maintaining some semblance of a home life. Call us at 713-201-5559 and we'll help you become a real success.
En esta era digital, las tarjetas de presentación de negocio son cosa del pasado. De hecho, la mayoría de las personas que las reciben las pierden en cuestión de minutos. La videotarjeta de negocios de Now Media es un video de su negocio especialmente creado por nuestros expertos con toda su información de contacto, los productos y servicios de su negocio y puede ser enviado de manera rápida utilizando su teléfono móvil. Cientos de negocios ya están viendo la diferencia. Llámenos hoy al 832-384-9588.
¿Quieres tener el mejor recuerdo de bodas, original, exclusivo y fuera de lo común? Entra a www.larevistadetuboda.mx o visítanos en nuestra página de Instagram o Facebook. Descubre todo lo que puede quedar plasmado en el recuerdo que siempre soñaste. Reportajes, entrevistas, un diseño personalizado, sesiones fotográficas y mucho más. Solo en la revista de tu boda.
Welcome back to the show. This is a very interesting conversation so far. And I would like to just go back to where we were, Mr. Khan, regarding water, because I would like to spend some more time on the water issue because this is a big problem. And you were alluding to a 2.5 billion sitting idle related to water. Could you speak a little more to that?
Well, when city collects your water bill, it goes into a dedicated fund. We cannot use that money for our general expense and all that. And it has ballooned up to be close to $2.5 billion now. And that money should be used for fixing some of these issues we are talking about. The water infrastructure is depleted. I mean, there are parts of town, especially the poor neighborhoods, where the water system is really 60, 70 years old. They're still using cast iron pipes and things like that. And those are the pipes which are, leaking a lot of water. They break down and city is only doing emergency work there. But like I said, it's in the chronicle story that 30 billion gallons is wasted every year. And this needs to be fixed. And that's what I bring to the table. And look, one other thing I will say about my management and my experience versus others, okay? With my management experience, with my fiscal expertise, with my knowledge of the city, I served in the city hall, with my ethical standards, and with, the way I look at public service is very different. And I think that's what's needed. It's different from legislative experiences. My leadership, proven leadership in the city and also in the nonprofit sector qualifies me perfectly for this job. And like I said, some of the other candidates, they have legislative experience, and legislative experience does not get you. I mean, right now we have a mayor. I like Sylvester Turner very much. He's a good man, but he had legislative experience, and look where we are here today. So we cannot continue to do the same thing and expect different results.
Mm-hmm. So are you seeing a lack of business experience among policymakers and who are and the folks who are running the city and government agencies as a challenge that is pulling us back?
Oh, yes, in a lot of ways. Look, you have to have the management experience and know how to manage, such a large city, fourth largest city in the country. You have to have understanding of finances. You have to have the leadership quality where you pull everybody together in the community, not just City of Houston, but other agencies like Harris County and metro and DA's office. You work together with everybody, and you have to have a history of doing that, which is what I have done in my life, and that's what is needed. Otherwise, what happens? You have the figurehead mayor who, basically just depending on the bureaucracy and these pay-to-play contractors to run the city. And bureaucracy is running the city right now, and bureaucracy and these pay-to-play contractors, they have no incentive to run it efficiently, because they need more money out of your pocket, so they can pad their bank accounts as much as they're doing.
Oh, it's very, very, it's a conversation which has brought up a lot of topics that are really relevant and not so much spoken about. So I think it's really good that we're having this conversation, and I think our viewers will appreciate it a lot. And on that note, let's move to a couple of other areas we wanted to touch upon. One is the economy and the job situation.
Oh, yes. Look, Houston is an international city. Houston is much better known outside America than sometimes in other states, what people think of Houston. Houston is a can-do city. Houston is a space city, leader in space, in medical area. We are leaders, and oil and gas, So we have, and all these new people who are coming to Houston, these are all entrepreneurs. You look at the South Asian community, for example. We are a great example of how we are succeeding in our personal lives, in our business life, in our family life, make the society better. We are entrepreneurs. We are in businesses, whether it's small business or large businesses. And that's what we need to promote. We need to promote Houston internationally and make the Houston the business-friendly city. Right now, businesses are not moving to Houston. As you know, there are a lot of people moving to the state of Texas from other states. There are a lot of people who come to the state of Texas. They're going to Dallas, they're going to Austin, they're going to San Antonio. Why are they not choosing Houston? Our suburbs are growing well, but city of Houston is almost flat because city of Houston is not a business-friendly city right now. That has to change. We need to attract businesses to the city of Houston by making it business-friendly, making one-stop shop, for example, in the permitting department. It's so difficult to deal with the permitting department right now. Getting your project going in city of Houston is, I talked to a lot of businesses and they say, no, we don't want to work in Houston because it's so difficult. So we need to make our bureaucracy efficient and lean and responsive to the needs of the community, needs of the businesses. We need to make Houston business friendly, expand the employment base. So all these people who are struggling in our community, they should find well-paying jobs. A lot of international, other countries have this sovereign wealth fund. We can approach them and ask them to do joint projects right here in the city of Houston, where their money is very well invested and huge potential of profits they can get, and city of Houston can benefit. So I will work with Greater Houston Partnership, which is our Chamber of Commerce, and other chambers of commerce like Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, South Asian Chamber of Commerce, and all those other business entities, and make sure that we reach out to locally, nationally, as well as internationally to attract businesses to Houston and really make Houston the most. And besides the making Houston business friendly, remember, people and businesses move to a city for a few reasons. Number one, the city has to be business friendly. Number two, school system has to be good. That's why people move their employees to a city where the school system is good. And also the crime is low, the infrastructure structure is working, all those things. So we need to, I will be working very closely with the HISD, whether you like the state takeover or not, but the fact remains that we have to work with them and make sure that our school system is the best in the state and in the country for people to move here.
Mm-hmm. And I think, one of the pet peeves for you is the relationship the city has with the state. maybe due to political differences or whatnot. But could you speak to that?
Of course. Look, you have to, when you are in a leadership position, okay, you have to work with others whom you really don't have any control over. And also, in some cases, they have more influence on you. Like the state of Texas is, of course, the big daddy. So you need to learn how to work with them. And how do you do that? Okay, I'll give you an example. When we got the Harvey Fund, the billions of dollars came, and our General Land Office, when George P. Bush was head of that, they allocated $0 to Houston, even though Houston suffered the most during Harvey. How do you do that? First of all, you have to be respectful to other people. Politics should be over after the election. There should not be any political games being played once you're in the office. And then you have to work with them with the facts and figures and the projects which you're dealing with. The need of the Houston should be so clear cut that these people don't hate Houstonians. They don't hate Houston. They just don't find a working relationship with the leadership. And the talks with some of the candidates are making these talks that, oh, that's our money, we better get it. That's not going to get you anything. You have to work with them, you have to show respect, and you have to let the merit of the projects convince them. And when you sit down with them, you negotiate with in a very truthful and honest and transparent manner. And there's no need why we cannot do that.
Okay. Very refreshing points of view here, Mr. Khan. To wrap up the show, let me ask you this question. What do you think a viewer who's listening to this should vote for you?
Well, like I said, with my management experience, financial expertise, my knowledge of the city, my ethical standards, and my leadership, proven leadership qualities is what is needed in the city. My ethical standards are that we should run the city with the highest ethical standards and not even go in an area where it can be questionable. People have seen my leadership, for example, during Harvey, I'm the president of Islamic Society of Greater Houston. I made one call and we opened several mosques for our Harvey displaced people, and the community members brought supplies from their homes because they were roads were not passable. And I brought the community together in that time also. So that's what's needed. And believe me, the city, like I said, is going in the wrong direction. If we do not make the right choice, look what happened in Detroit. Cities failed. Detroit went into bankruptcy and it was in receivership by the state. HISD was just taken over by the state because we could not run our school system properly. So don't believe for a minute that cities cannot fail. And the only way we can turn this around by electing the right kind of leadership in the city to turn it around 180 degrees and really make the city what it should be, the shining example for the rest of the country. Houston has risen in the past. Houston can meet all the challenges. Houston will rise up again. We are a can-do city. We will rise to the challenges and overcome these challenges we are facing now, and we all will be united and make sure that city of Houston is the best city in the country.
Very fascinating conversation, Mr. Khan. Wish you all the best in the elections. We'll be back after a short break.
Thank you so much. Remember mjkhan.com.
According to the FBI, a robbery occurs every 13 seconds. Homes and businesses without a reliable security system are 300% more likely to be burglarized. Alert 360 provides custom-tailored rock-solid security solutions to residential and commercial customers. Whether it's home security, fire and carbon monoxide detection, flood protection, connected senior care, managed video surveillance solutions, 24/7 alarm monitoring, and life safety, Alert 360 is your ideal solution. In addition, Alert 360 has smart home and business integrations like access control and video shield for a complete peace of mind, protecting what matters the most and reducing energy costs with our top-of-the-line automatic scheduling functions. Alert 360 offers security services discounts to military personnel, veterans, first responders, educators, and hospital personnel. Don't be a victim. Take a strong step today. Call Rosana Torres at 832-863-8574 for your free consultation.
Bienvenidos a Legal Talk con Natalia, donde profundizaremos en el mundo del derecho y la mediación para empoderarte con conocimiento y comprensión. Nuestra meta es ayudarte sobre aspectos legales de diversas situaciones y guiarte a tomar decisiones informadas que puedan impactar positivamente tu vida. A lo largo de nuestros segmentos contaremos con expertos invitados, incluyendo abogados, mediadores y académicos, donde compartiremos sus perspectivas y responderemos a tus preguntas. Recuerda, el conocimiento es poder. Y juntos podemos cambiar vidas para mejorar y entender cómo funciona el derecho. Así que marca tu calendario, pon recordatorios y sé parte de nuestra comunidad informada. No olvides vernos cada miércoles a las 5 p.m. en Legal Talk con Natalia a través del canal 21.10 en Houston y en las redes sociales y plataformas digitales de Now Media Televisión.
Best bilingual news, business talk, and technology content 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You are watching Now Media Television, the first bilingual media network in the United States.
Así debe de ser, siempre sencillo, las cuestiones de economía, finanzas y negocios explicados con peras y manzanas en torno al dinero, lunes a viernes, 10 de la mañana. Now Media, ahí nos vemos.
Bienvenidos esta mañana.
¡Comenzamos!
Esta mañana te vamos a mantener bien informado.
Esta mañana, juntos, nos vamos a divertir.
¿Quieres saber por qué?
Eso.
Tanto el odio puede hacer que la gente tome acción como la inspiración.
Tenemos música.
Tenemos a Nistro que nos viene con este gran oficio.
Con el sonidero.
Esa muchacha en mi guatalla.
Y esta mañana va a estar espectacular.
Siempre he querido ser exótico.
Todas las maldades son distintas, no hay dos maldades iguales.
Desde los 15 años hice teatro, entonces justo con este personaje pues fue la primera vez que me tocó aplicar todo lo que sé hacer.
Todo cambió.
Esta mañana te presentamos las historias más emocionantes.
Me encantan sus entrevistas, que sean periodistas de a de veras y no que pregunten mamarrachadas.
Esta mañana,
De lunes a viernes.
En punto de las 9 por el canal 8.
¡Qué bárbaro!
Tell me, are you looking to sell a house or buy a home? Hi, I'm Michelle Briggs, and your real estate needs are my priority. With over 2 decades worth of experience within the real estate industry, I know I can help. Whether you're selling a house and moving on to the next chapter or buying a home to create generational wealth for your family, I am the realtor for you. Call me now at 713-256-5465 and let me handle all of your real estate needs.
Hope you enjoyed that fascinating conversation with MJ Khan, who is running as a mayor candidate for Houston, and the Amisha Patel and Deol interviews in the Bollywood segment. We'll see you same time next week.
The lead star of the film, Sunny Deol, is anxious and excited about the sequel.
हम लोगों ने तो बनाई थी, लेकिन लोगों ने इसे गदर बना दिया था, और ऐसी गदर बनाई कि उसके बाद आसमान पे उठा दिया, और हमेशा डर लगता है कि एक पिक्चर जो इतनी कंप्लीट फिल्म हो उसे फिर से छेड़ा जाए, तो इसलिए मैं डर बहुत रहा था। लेकिन जब शर्मा जी ने मुझे कहानी सुनाई तो खैर वो गदर गदर थी। अभी उम्मीद करता हूँ ये गदर भी एक तरह से गदर बने, और ये तभी होगा जब आप लोगों को फिल्म पसंद आएगी, और मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि आपको ये फिल्म पसंद आएगी। जिस तरह से आप लोग रिएक्ट कर रहे हैं, जिस तरह से इसका पूरा माहौल बना हुआ है पूरे देश में नहीं पूरी दुनिया में जहाँ जहाँ हमारे लोग हैं।
Sunny Deol has often been part of some dramatic and yet emotional movies in his career, be it films like Ghatak, Damini or Ghayal, or for that matter Gadar. Sunny says that the music of the film by Mithun too is very instrumental in adding to the narrative of the film and capturing the emotions of the character as much as the drama of the film is, and that is the USP of the movie Gadar 2.
ये फिल्म मुकम्मल एक होती है जिससे देखकर आदमी पूरा वो जोश के साथ निकलता है बाहर। कोई एक चीज़ नहीं होती, पूरे कैरेक्टर्स होते हैं जो उससे लेकर जाते हैं, और हादसे ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पर इंसान लड़ता है और फिर फतेह पाता है, तो उसके बाद एक बात बनती है। तो गदर में भी हमारे 2 में भी वैसा ही है। एंड में जाकर जिस तरह से एक सेटिस्फैक्शन मिलती है, तो मुझे पूरा यकीन है लोगों को बहुत पसंद आएगी।
Sunny says that people of India and Pakistan do love each other despite all the political differences and upheavals. There may have been wars between India and Pakistan, but the love of the people will remain as they are from the same land.
बात कुछ ले जाने की या लेने की और देने की बात नहीं होती। बात होती है कि एक इंसानियत की होती है कि झगड़े नहीं होने चाहिए, दोनों तरफ उतना ही प्यार है। ये सियासी खेल होता है जो ये सब नफरतें पैदा करता है, और वही आप देखेंगे इस फिल्म में भी। जनता नहीं कोई चाहती कि एक दूसरे के साथ हम झगड़े या लड़ें, बिकॉज आखिर है तो सब इसी मिट्टी से।
Gadar saw Sunny Deol go to Pakistan and get back the girl he loved, Sakina. Gadar too sees him go back to Pakistan to get back their son who is in Pakistani custody, and he says that the anger of a father and the will to do things emanates from the wishes of a human being.
देखिए जितने भी कैरेक्टर्स हम लोग प्ले करते हैं उसके अंदर हमारा हिस्सा ज़रूर होता है, तभी उसके अंदर जान भरी जाती है। तो जब कभी इस तरह की मुसीबत आए या कुछ ऐसी हो तो इंसान के अंदर ऐसा खून अंदर जोश बढ़ जाता है कि आदमी कुछ भी कर सकता है।
दैनिक जागरण से
यही बात होनी चाहिए हर इंसान में।
Sunny Deol's box office trajectory has taken a beating in recent times, but the 65-year-old actor is now all set to change his destiny as well as box office history. Amisha Patel played the role of Sakina opposite Sunny Deol, who essayed the character of Tara Singh in Gadar. Amisha recollects the time when some of the biggest names in Bollywood dissuaded her from playing a mother in the Anil Sharma directed film Gadar.
मैं पहले तो कहना चाहूंगी कि सबसे बड़ा थैंक यू टू द मोस्ट फैबुलस बेस्ट co-star of mine, सनी जी, जिनके साथ अगर मुझे कहा जाए कि आप स्कूल के नाटक में हम स्टेज पे पौधे बनते थे ना,
जी
तो वो पौधे बन के भी रहो तो मैं हो जाऊंगी। बट अनिल जी जब ने मुझे पहली गदर की कहानी सुनाई थी, जब नितिन कैनी ने मुझे अप्रोच किया था, तब बहुत से लोगों ने, और मैं उनका नाम नहीं लेना चाहूँगी, लेकिन बहुत जाने मानी हस्तियाँ थी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री के, बहुत बड़े लोग थे, बहुत बड़े जाने माने हस्तियाँ, सब ने कहा कि आप ये कैसे रोल करोगे और क्यों करोगे। सलमान खान के साथ मैं फिल्म कर रही थी, कॉलेज लड़की थी। अजय देवगन के साथ फिल्म कर रही थी, वो मेरे प्रोफेसर थे, मैं स्टूडेंट थी, वहाँ भी कॉलेज स्टूडेंट थी। ऋतिक के साथ 2 फिल्में कर रही थी, कहो ना प्यारे और आप मुझे लगने लगे, मैं कॉलेज स्टूडेंट थी। तो जब यहाँ मुझे ये सब्जेक्ट नरेशन किया था और कहो ना प्यारे रिलीज़ नहीं हुई थी, तो सब ने कहा कि आप तो माँ का रोल कर ही नहीं पाओगे।
Amisha credits her maker and a lot of hard work in her managing to pull off the role of a mother so early in her career. Amisha had just made her debut a year ago in Kaho Na Pyar Hai.
ये challenges बहुत अच्छे लगते हैं। Instead of getting rejected, मैं एक challenge को, एक चुनौती को out of my comfort zone जाके अपनाना चाहती हूँ। And I had faith because I knew कि मेरे director जो है, he's brilliant. And इतनी खूबसूरत प्रेम कहानी शायद ना कभी लिखी थी और ना लिखेंगे कोई भी, तो मुझे हाँ करना ही था। यस बहुत मुश्किल था, लेकिन अनिल जी पेशेंटली मेरे साथ बैठते थे लुक पे, हर चीज़ पे, कि तब मैं कैसे थोड़ी मैच्योर कॉलेज स्टूडेंट नहीं लगूं, थोड़ी एक माँ का रोल जैसे मैं लग जाऊं एक माँ। उन्होंने 6 महीने मेरे साथ लगातार डायलॉग्स पे, लुक पे, दिन रात हम लोग 12-12 घंटे बैठते थे।
Amisha also talked about the jibes of people in the film industry who spared no efforts in trying to dumb down the film, even calling it names. Amisha says that the challenge to play Sakina again in Gadar 2 wasn't really easy, but they managed to pull it off.
गदर के आने के पहले गदर को गटर कहा था। और ये दिल को मुझे बहुत छू गई थी ये बात, और मैंने बोला डिजेक्शन नहीं, ये मैं ज़्यादा मेहनत करूँगी। जब गदर 2 की बात आई तो फिर से वही सवाल उठे कि डूड, हैव यू सीन योरसेल्फ ऑन इंस्टाग्राम? यू नो, लेजी लम्हे की लड़की अब कैसे गदर करेगी? हाउ विल शी प्ले अ मदर ऑफ अ 20+ ईयर बॉय? मैंने बोला फिर से वही सेम सवाल, फिर से वही चुनौती, मुझे करना ही है। अगेन थैंक्स टू माई डायरेक्टर, माई फैबुलस मेकअप टीम, जयवन जी, पूजा जी एंड ग्रॉकी हु वर्कड ऑन माई कॉस्ट्यूम्स। हम 20-20 घंटे लुक टेस्ट करते रहे और हम तस्वीरें भेजते थे अनिल जी को। और कुछ दिनों बाद जब हम सफल रहे मुझे थोड़ा सा और मैच्योर दिखाने के लिए फिल्म में, आई गॉट द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल मैसेज फ्रॉम अनिल जी सेइंग, my precious Sakina is back.
Amisha and the director Anil Sharma have been at loggerheads often, but then she says that she shares a father-daughter relationship with him.
He's a perfectionist. हमारे बीच में बाप बेटी का रिश्ता है, हम बहुत फाइट करते हैं।
क्यों?
बस ये मुझे नाराज करते रहते हैं।
ये
और मैं इनसे फाइट करती रहती हूँ। मैं इंस्टाग्राम पे ब्लॉक करती हूँ, उनको व्हाट्सएप पे ब्लॉक करती हूँ, फिर अनब्लॉक करती हूँ। ये हमारा रिश्ता है। एंड द मोस्ट ब्यूटिफुल पार्ट इज कि उत्कर्ष को फिल्म में मैं लाई थी, और मैं हमेशा अनिल जी को बोलती हूँ कि आपके दोनों बच्चे इतने खूबसूरत है कि अगर सकीना और तारा की बेटी भी होती तो आप अपनी बेटी दे दीजिए मुझे।
Amisha even produced a film called Desi Magic, which has not yet released, and the actress has been having a tumultuous time at the box office. Hopefully, Gadar 2 will change all that. Ayushmann Khurrana has been playing a variety of roles on screen, from being an action hero in a film with an eponymous title as well as the title role in Dream Girl to Dream Girl 2. While an action hero was a flop, Dream Girl seems to be a better bet for this versatile actor.
वक्त की बात है, कभी-कभी आप यूनिवर्स आपके मतलब इट्स लाइक जिक्सॉ पजल, आप वो पजल में फिट होना ज़रूरी है। दैट टाइमिंग वाज नॉट राइट मे बी। एट द सेम टाइम मुझे लगता है वो एक्शन हीरो यहाँ पर सारे जो मेरे इर्द गिर्द मर्द हैं फिल्म के अंदर, वो एक्शन की फिराक में पूजा के साथ। तो इसमें भी आपको अलग तरह का एक्शन की एस्पिरेशन का आपको देखने को मिलेगा।
Ayushmann had to undergo a certain weight loss for the film to nail the look of a female. Ayushmann plays a man as well as a man dressed as a woman in the film.
तो असेंबल्ड हूँ मैं, तो मतलब असेंबल्ड था मैं, तो इतना भी मुश्किल नहीं था, बस पतला होना था मुझे, बाकी तो असेंबली थी सबके। हार्डवेयर गिरा नहीं, फिल्म के अंदर गिरा भी है वैसे। हाँ देखा।
अच्छा कहाँ तक? That is the question.
नहीं वो आपको ट्रेलर में नजर आया है। हार्ड मतलब वो कॉमेडी ऑफ एरर्स होगा इसमें। हाँ। और आपको नजर आएगा कैसे असेंबल्ड हूँ मैं पिक्चर के अंदर, और यही असेंबलमेंट से कैसे लोगों को मैं फिर से चकमा देता हूँ, अपनी आवाज से नहीं बल्कि अपनी लुक से भी।
Ayushmann joins an illustrious list of actors from Kishore Kumar to Kamal Hassan who have dressed up like women in their films, and he says he had a tough legacy to follow.
शुरू से ही मैं टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी पे कटाक्ष करता आया हूँ, और आई एम ग्लैड कि रॉकी रानी अच्छा कर रही है और टॉक्सिक मैस्कुलिनिटी को लेकर एक उन्होंने हमारे लिए एक अच्छा ग्राउंड कर दिया, क्योंकि हमारा वो नेक्स्ट लेवल पे हम लेके जा रहे हैं अब 25 अगस्त को। सो आई थिंक इट्स ग्रेट फन, गुड टू सी पीपल हु आर एक्सेप्टिंग these kind of films जो social causes पे या फिर जो एक stereotype पर हम हमेशा कुछ कहने की कोशिश करते हैं, and it's not just the messaging in the film, it's more fun. यहाँ comedy ज़्यादा है, और of course हमेशा inspiration मिलती है actors like कमल हासन सर इन चाची 420 या फिर गोविंदा जी इन आंटी नंबर 1। तो काफ़ी एक्टर्स ने, किशोर दा ने किया है एक टाइम पर, तो एक समय पर हर एक युग में ऐसे रोल करने के मौके मिले हैं एक्टर्स को, एंड आई एम ग्लैड मुझे अपॉर्चुनिटी ये मिली, जिसके थ्रू आई थिंक बहुत कुछ कहने को भी है फिल्म के अंदर, बट इट्स ऑल इन अ वेरी लाइट हार्टेड फन वे।
Ayushmann says that the OTT has helped a lot of good films to do well, and that small towns are also coming to the fore nowadays as the backdrop in the movies.
I think OTT is a great revolution, and if I have to just go overboard with experimentation, OTT is the place. But yeah, it depends on the opportunities you get. And this is, I'm quite lucky and fortunate that I've gotten opportunities not just to portray different characters, but to showcase different subjects on the celluloid. And this is something which is again very unique, Dream Girl 2. And it is full mass entertainer. This is the first time I think this is going to be the massiest of all.
Ask Ayushmann for the qualities that he has looked forth in a dream girl, and this is what he has to offer. Ayushmann has not signed on too many films at the moment and will plan his career after the release of Dream Girl 2.
This has been a Now Media Networks feature presentation. All rights reserved.